I'm sitting here with one of my co-founders, McFarland. We're going to be upfront about that. But today, he's on the hot seat. We're talking about Forrest, talking about the work he's doing with Pure Health Recovery. MJ, say what's up.
What's going on?
So, MJ, I want to start with your playing career and kind of the road that you took up to that, and just kind of an abbreviated version of how you found yourself in the league and that experience overall. What was that like?
I guess I'll start from the beginning. Started playing football sophomore year of high school in El Paso, Texas. I was in El Paso because my dad was military and he got stationed there from Germany. Being in Texas, you understand football is king there, and I decided to give it a shot. Found out I was good at it, and it can pretty much pay for college. And I was fortunate and blessed enough to get a scholarship to the University of Texas. Took it and built my career from there, my football career from there. Going there, I didn't have any dreams of playing in the NFL just yet because I was strictly a basketball player. But as I got exposed to the many opportunities and just being around the football culture, I decided to make the NFL a dream of mine. And with the hard work and dedication, I was able to make it to the NFL.
Yeah, and that's a special experience. Tell us about the journey, kind of leaving the NFL, how that all unfolded, and where you were at mentally, emotionally.
It was a roller coaster, to be honest. There was a lot of highs and lows and a lot of uncertainty. I think the NFL is probably one of the few professions where you don't know where you're going to be the next day, because you can do everything right, but you can still end up waived and released by the team, and you're up to figure it out on your own. And you call your agent, see if you can get you on another team, another workout, and pretty much start out over. You build a relationship. You build you build a relationship with the guys, and you grow with the team, and you learn the playbook, and you get comfortable. And then one day, they ask you to turn your playbook in, and that's a lot to take. And
yeah. So, in one of our earlier conversations, I think actually our first conversation, I was explaining my vision for Forrest and what we were trying to do for athletes and startups. And you talked a lot about Pure Health. So tell me how you got involved in Pure Health. What was that transition like? That was through Jermichael Finley, right?
Mm-hmm. So Pure Sports Recovery is a holistic approach to treatment for athletes dealing with anything from anxiety, depression, or even just want to reach peak performance holistically. And I got involved because Jermichael went there after his career-ending injury with the Green Bay Packers, and he's a good friend of mine. Because
I think everybody remembers that. That was a rough hit he took.
Yeah, and had a spinal cord bruise, was paralyzed for a little bit, and that was somebody I looked up to because I modeled my play after him, and we had a good relationship. He told me about this place once the Dallas Cowboys let me go, and I was in a place where I was depressed because, being from Texas, you want to play for America's team. And I was right there. I was so close, and it just didn't work out. So put me in a bad spot. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I wasn't motivated like I usually am, and decided to give it a shot. I've been cut twice at this point, and I was like, okay, I need to figure out what I can do better to put myself in a better position. And I had nothing to lose, so I just hopped on a plane and went to Oxnard, California, and just to see what they had to offer. And it honestly changed my life because I see the work they do so much that I'm excited to, join them. And I told the CEO there once I'm done with my NFL career, I want to be a part of your growth and helping guys pretty much bring awareness to Pure Sports Recovery and let guys know that there's an outlet for you.
Yeah. So tell me about the work that you do there. You're actually kind of like the first touch point when players show interest, right? You pick them up from the airport.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything there, from operations to marketing to sometimes therapy stuff. I kind of do. I want to know everything because I think it's important for a guy in my positions, especially being the first athlete hired on the staff. So I
Yeah,
want to
that's
know
cool.
everything. Hmm.
And I've experienced some of that too, having you as a co-founder for Forest is, us business guys can get so trapped in a certain way of thinking. And so it's great to have your perspective, always kind of bringing us back to serving the athletes, but also holding them accountable. And that balance, right? That I just, we all played sports on the team in some capacity, but having that special perspective from the athletes is really powerful. And so, having you and Chase on board has been awesome. Tell me, let's talk a little bit about what you see these guys going through from a mental perspective. In context here for the listeners is, our first week of our growth curriculum is actually focused entirely on mindset. In order to succeed in business and entrepreneurship specifically, having a strong mind, having a durable mind, being persistent, having goals, having clear vision is very important. Because even if you're really good at what you do, maybe you're a fantastic salesperson, maybe you're great with the numbers, whatever you may have in your toolkit, you're not as strong. You're not nearly as strong if you cannot win the daily mental battles. And it really is a battle, right? MJ and I talk about this all the time. There's a battlefield in the mind that dictates how we live our lives. Um, you've mentioned depression, a little bit of depression when you left the league, and that olive branch a little bit, that bridge into Pure was really important for you. And now it's led to a job, which is really cool. Talk to me about where these guys are mentally when you're working with them at Pure.
Um, Generally speaking, it's kind of a state of mentally paralyzed. You go from playing professional sports, you're on top of the world. You got the fame, the exposure, the money, and then one day it's done. And it's hard to grasp that and you know and try to move on because there's no tools for you to ease that transition because it's either you're on the team or you're off the team. There's no in between.
Yeah.
And the things I see from the guys is just like not knowing what to do, not knowing where their interests are beyond sport, and not knowing where to start or any direction. They have the ambition, they have you know the passion and the work ethic. They just don't know where to put it, and that can result to anxiety, result to
Mm-hmm.
depression, and result to just a lack of decision making because they
Mm-hmm.
come from a culture where everything matters, every decision matters, and you try to transition that to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference, to be honest with
Mm-hmm.
me. There's a complete difference because now you're in control of your own destiny. Professional sports, you put the work in, you might get the chance of reaping the benefits. That's not up to you. When you get to the real business world, you have a better chance of reaping those benefits depending on the work you put in. And it's
Mm-hmm.
understanding that and trying to navigate through that and figure out what your interests are beyond your sport. Because in order to play professional sports, it takes everything you got because there's somebody right next to you or behind you that's trying to take your spot, try to take your position.
And
So
there's limited spots, right? I mean, we know from
yeah,
the business world, we know from the Ubers of the world, the LinkedIn's of the world, people with great ideas who put the work in, and obviously the stars have to align for them. They can create industries. They can create, in mega shifts in the way we live our lives just as regular civilians. Whereas on an NFL squad, hey man, there's 22 starting spots. These guys need backups. Yeah, you can be a human jackknife and you can play all these different roles, right? But you're still limited, right? And if you're a second string, third string guy, practice squad guy, I mean, if you're not making those top 3, 4 cuts, you're out. So it's very binary, very yes, no. Like you're saying, one way that a former cowboy put it in a conversation I had with them over the weekend was players really struggle because it goes from a black and white life to a very gray world, where no one is sitting here defining success for you in the business world. I mean, I wish someone started my career by handing me a playbook and saying, if you do this, you will be a multimillionaire. But that's just not how it is. There's way more poetry in it. There's way more um, destiny in it. And it's a lot about the journey as well. It's not really just about the destination. So it's so cool that we get to teach these guys, man, and give them kind of a sense of hope, give them a sense of purpose. And it's not like we're giving them jobs and telling them exactly what to do. We are giving them the tools to make those decisions themselves and to be fully passionate about that role or that job or that startup or that educational program the same way they were passionate about sports. And so it's cool. We're not just giving them an opportunity. We're giving them life. We're giving them kind of their next chapter. So uh, super exciting. Tell me about, I know we're still working on exactly how the transition is going to occur between guys going through Pure and ladies, and coming into Forest and going through our program. But what are some things you think, in terms of mindset, that we're going to want to really emphasize throughout our program? Maybe things you've learned in Pure that we're always going to want to be kind of coming back to with these guys.
Just constantly reminding them that they're more than an athlete. We're trying to break through 15 to 20 years of you're an athlete, you need to focus on this. We're trying to do that in a short amount of time. So that's what I do when I'm at Pure. I just remind the guys, hey, there's more for you. You just got to work for it, just like you work to get to the NFL or NBA or whatever it is to your professional sport. You had to work there. No one handed you that, and it's taking those same skill sets and same things you've learned from sport and transitioning them into the business world. It just looks different.
Mm-hmm.
Business or sports, you got to have a set foundation from, discipline. What are some other characteristics? Integrity, being accountable, being responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all things, you've been taught in sports that really apply to everyday life, either in business or whatever you decide to do post-career.
And we can't take them for granted, right? Those are special skill sets that really set apart the best business leaders too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just reminding them of that, because they came from a culture of pretty much being told you're not good enough and there's someone out there better than you, because usually you get signed for a team and, it's a happy moment, but it's temporary, because as soon as you get signed, they're already looking for somebody else that's better than you. So you have a short window to maximize everything to prove that you belong there and that you're valued. One thing personally speaking, I'm happy to be a part of 4S because I feel valued. I feel like my opinion is valued. It means a lot to me to feel valued. You come from a culture where you have high caliber players, and you can kind of feel like, hey, why am I here? Or why?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What are they seeing in me? Because you're constantly reminded of like, okay, this guy's first string. Oh, we're only keeping three. I play tight end. We're only keeping 3 tight ends.
That's tough.
A few of them have been there 5+ years. So how do you break into that in a short amount of time?
Mm-hmm.
And so my goal at Pure is to remind us, is just be the living proof. Here's a proof of concept. Here's a guy that had a short career in the NFL, been cut, been injured, and look where he is now. He just found a way to transition those same skills to the business world and create a new life for himself. And if I can do it with less resources, you can do it also.
Yeah, that's great. It's powerful, man. It's a really inspiring message for these guys who are maybe coming out. And I think it's also cool for guys who haven't come out yet, to get a little bit of a dose of reality from people who have made that transition. I mean, we're talking to some big names right now, people who were really, really, really household names, just 2 or 3 years ago, but you never know when it's over. You never know when your ankle's going to bend the wrong way in one game, or when the coach is going to want to cut, or the GM's going to want to cut some space in the cap for the cap. And so these guys can't take it for granted. And And we like working with guys who are out and they've been out for a few years because they get it. Like they see how special this is. They see the opportunity, but maybe we can change that. Maybe we can be a part of educating the current players about the realities of what happens when they're done, and we can start creating a smoother transition even earlier on for some of these guys. That's one of the goals, right?
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
but yeah, so this was awesome. Thank you so much, MJ, for taking the hot seat today, for answering some good questions about our program, the integration with your other firm that you're working with. You know, business is so it is successful business, I should say, is so predicated on a success mindset and a positive mindset, positive mental attitude. That goes back to, you know, all the stuff Napoleon Hill and Carnegie, Andrew Carnegie have been putting out, well, have put out in the past. And so just, we really want to emphasize that in our program. Let's just end it with, you know, what are you most excited about, let's say in the next year for Forrest?
For Forrest, I'm most excited about bringing awareness to it and like seeing the expressions on other athletes' faces of having an idea or having a plan once they're done. You know, I've seen guys play to their bones break because they don't know anything else, and I just say we can pretty much save their lives and save their bodies because they have something to look forward to. Being an athlete, you always look forward to something. You look forward to the next game. You look forward to the next practice. You look forward to the championship or making the playoffs or whatever. We can provide that same thing post-career, and that's what I'm excited about with Forrest. They can look forward to earning equity in a company. They can look forward to calling themselves a business owner. Those are great accomplishments, and that's what I'm most excited about is bringing awareness and getting the guys excited for themselves and getting the tools to equip them so they can make their own decisions and have confidence in doing so. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
excited about.
that's awesome, man. It's exactly what we're trying to do. MJ, it's awesome having you. It's awesome having a conversation with you about this stuff. We're gonna let you go. Where can people find you online? Where can they learn more about Pure? And then I'll share where they can learn more about Forrest.
Pure, just puresportsrecovery.com. And then as far as reaching out to me, I'm on pretty much all social media platforms. I start with Instagram. If you're looking to reach out to me, my tag is MJ_MC_. Twitter is MJayy85. So feel
Cool.
free to reach out, and I'm here to help and here to serve.
Awesome. And for more information on Forrest and some of the programs we're rolling out in 2019, visit us at 4est.co. Awesome, guys. Talk to you soon.